Hello and welcome to the Bible book tag. This is an original tag created by On a Stack of Books, and Jessica tagged me in her original tag. Thank you so much, Jessica, and I'm sorry it has taken me so long to get this done. I am starting with this because I wanted to mention, and I have mentioned this in my other videos, to me, this particular book is a resource tool that I definitely am delving into with my Da Vinci Spiral, so many other books related to ancient Egypt and other topics. So it is important. Now, Jessica combined Bible verses along with cups, and I certainly have a collection of cups. I've included the Bible verses down below in the prompts. If you would like to do this tag, be sure to tag Jessica and myself so we can come and enjoy your videos as well. And here we go with prompt number 1. A Cup of Flex, a book that built you up and gave you strength or empowered you, or the main character was a badass by your standards. I picked 2 books and neither of them have a character. The first one is Steering by Starlight. This is by Martha Beck, and I have talked about this book in detail over on Margaret Pinard's channel during her August Agitation series with a number of amazing booktubers. I highly recommend you check out Margaret's channel to look at all the different live streams, as there were great reads. This particular book made a huge difference for me during my back injury well over a decade ago now. Gave me great ideas and suggestions to move forward, to get back into a positive frame of mind. Definitely something I need to reread. I've made a variety of notes and a few things I need to get back to putting into action. The next book that had an equally big impact for me is The Magic of Believing by Claude M. Bristol. I've mentioned this book before. It is, I would say, probably one of the earliest law of attraction books out there, long before everybody, their cousin, and 2/3 of their family started publishing books and doing seminars. The pamphlet that's included in the back of this book, TNT, It Rocks the Earth, was originally published in 1932 and revised in 1933. The book itself, The Magic of Believing, was published in 1948, which is why I say it is definitely one of the first law of attraction books. It's an enjoyable read, great suggestions and ideas about be clear about your goal, take the steps that you need to take to get there, fine tune if you need to, but always keep your eye on what's that final goal. And yes, you do need to get your katukas off the couch and do something to get there. It's not just going to land in your lap. Prompt number 2 is A Cup of Sunshine, a book that was light in the darkness, gave you hope, an underdog story, and an unlikely hero. For me, I'm going with Harry Dresden. This is a series by Jim Butcher. The first book is Stormfront. I mean, come on. Long coat, great hat, amazing character. I enjoyed book 1. I mean, poor Harry doesn't seem to get much of a break. He's often stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he keeps muddling on through. I'm only up to book 2 in this series, looking forward to reading the rest of it, but Light in the Darkness was definitely the wizard Harry, who, like I say, he may not seem to get a break, but he keeps moving forward, even with everything the universe throws at him, so I very much enjoyed the read. Prompt number 3, A Book of Guffaws, a book that made you laugh out loud, smile, or just get the good feels from reading. I picked up Stories from the Vinyl Cafe. This is by Stuart McLean. I found 4 of his works at my local thrift store. Just great reads. I have CDs of Stuart McLean and the Vinyl Cafe, stories of the family Dave Morley, their children, the silly things they get up to. Very much enjoyed the read, highly recommend, and you can find Stuart McLean here on YouTube and listen to the Vinyl Cafe as well. Prompt number 4, A Cup of Fresh Air, a book that made you think, gave you ideas, made you excited about something, inspired you. For me, that's The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This book, along with Steering by Starlight by Martha Beck, were both instrumental during my back injury, helping me focus on moving forward, look at what's going right, looking at tapping into my inner strength and my abilities to finally get myself back together and back to work full time, which I did for 5 years after. I will be doing a series on The Artist's Way. That will be 13 videos. One is an introduction, and then once a week thereafter. And I will be working through the program again. I've already done it twice. Each time there's something more to gain. There are various things that I love about this 12-week process. One thing I very much enjoy are the artist dates, and you don't break that date. You consider it an appointment, just like any other appointment you wouldn't cancel, and you just do something fun. Whether you do it for 10 minutes, whether you schedule it for an hour, whatever your life circumstance allows, but you do it by yourself. No one else is allowed to join you, and it can be anything from spending time coloring to wandering through a craft store, walking through the park, whatever it is that brings you joy. Prompt number 5, A Cup of Seeds, a book that gave you anxiety, the characters' choices stressed you out, or was difficult to read. For me, that book was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. And not because it was another chunky monkey, not because there's all kinds of spice with Feyre and Rysand, but because there was a situation that comes up with one of the characters, and it reminded me of something that occurred when I was not even 5 years old. It's something I haven't thought about for decades. I mean, it was so long ago. I'm still here. Things turned out fine. But for some reason, the nightmares came back for a week. Some of the anxiety came back. I was very agitated, in particular about how the other characters were treating the character that the situation happened to. I'm glad that I stuck with it, and that takes us to prompt number 6, A Cup of Squats. A book you suffered through and are happy that you did. The struggle was worth it at the end. Now, this is book 3 of the ACOTAR series. I did finish the book. I had to finish it quickly in January because there were a ton of holds. So I got through it quickly because I knew I only had 3 weeks. There was no chance to get that renewed. But at the end of all of that, and after everything calmed down, I also came to realize that the event that set me off in here, and there were no trigger warnings that would have prepared me for it. Like I say, I haven't thought about that for 55 plus years. It just, there was no way to realize just how agitated I was going to get by a few of those scenes. The upside to that event is, of course, realizing one, I'm still here. Things worked out fine at the time. Because of the time period that I grew up, it was handled very differently than it would be now. And because of the way that it was handled back then, I had the strength to get through it. And I didn't have a lot of people making a big fuss and chatting about it and all of that. And I think because of that, I didn't make a big fuss about it. There were, yes, different impacts. It also wasn't something that I kept talking about or thinking about because it happened. I got home safe. I was fine. And life moved on. There was a second situation where this individual tried to nab me yet again. Yes, it was my birth mother. That wasn't successful either. There were a number of people around. Again, everything worked out. I wasn't grabbed, taken, anything like that. And thankfully, that was the last time she tried something like that. But because of that situation, it just made me more determined that I would never be vulnerable or allow anyone to take me where I did not want to be. So, from that, even being very young, I didn't spend my time dwelling on it or worried, was it going to happen again? I knew if there was another attempt, I'd be fine. I mean, I'd already been through it twice. It all worked out fine. And I just became more determined to not ever be a victim. Yes, I got blindsided 55 years later reading a book from a series I had never planned to read, but that doesn't mean I hadn't done what I needed to in the past. It just means that even when we know and understand the work has been done, the thing about trauma is it's still there in your memory, even if it isn't at the forefront. So you need to be prepared because to deny that it happened doesn't help. To do the work definitely does. Because, yes, I had a difficult week, but I also knew that I had done the work with this scenario and I had to look at a number of other things of why in this particular time, January 2025, would this all come up? And once I had those answers, then I was fine. And I'm actually going to be reading this again next month, but this time I know what's coming. So, yay. Prompt number 7. A cup of lip gloss. A book or cover that was pretty, the characters were weak but pretty, or the storyline was meh, but they dressed it up pretty and you liked it anyway. I could not think of a single book. I have lots of pretty covers, but they don't meet the rest of that prompt. And this is part of the holdup doing this video. There's another prompt. I couldn't come up with anything, so I just decided it was time to do the video, and there's a couple I don't have answers for. Prompt number 8, a cup of and another thing, a book that dragged on and just seemed tedious to you. That would be The Ascension Mysteries. This is by David Wilcox. I've mentioned him in other videos, revealing the cosmic battle between good and evil. Yes, he's also on YouTube. He does 5-hour live streams. No, he's never made the film that he talked about in The Synchronicity Key or The Ascension Mysteries. Yes, he has a huge following of people. No, I'm not surprised. And yes, I will eventually finish this book. But the first part is him literally talking about his life from kindergarten, year by year. We're just in high school now. We still have college to go, and I'm just not buying that you remember every teacher, every school year. Of course, there's something every year, and it just, I'll finish it eventually. And yes, there will be a video about this book and the Synchronicity Key as well, sometime in 2026, because he is not high on my priority reads right now. Prompt number 9, a cup of warm socks, a book that was the perfect snuggle up with a cup of tea and read on a rainy day. You're able to read it without any time constraints or pressure and no interruptions. This could have been just a great book for you at the time, or it was a cozy read in and of itself. I picked Obsidian Murders by Nicole Brona. Lovely booktuber here, Nicole's Bookish Nook. Very much enjoyed the read. I love the characters of Tessa and Bloodsworth. It was a great story. It's nice and short, so it was definitely a cozy afternoon read. You can enjoy it with a cup of tea or a hot chocolate. There's suspense. Yes, it's called Obsidian Murders, so there are a couple of murders, but they're not gruesome or gory detailed. They're just fun characters, interesting story, and developments. I highly recommend. Prompt number 10, a cup of hot date. A book that was steamy and the villain was hot and tempting. I got nothing. Typically, I don't read steamy, spicy books. The ACOTAR series is an exception, but the characters there, Tamlin, Rysand, are both douches. They're toxic. Neither one is admirable. So just, no. Yes, I read Fourth Wing, another spicy character, and nope, nothing there either. So I just had nothing for that. And of course, prompt 11, tagging people. If you would like to do this tag, as I said, be sure to tag myself and Jessica so we can come and enjoy your answers. Thank you so much, Jessica, for creating this tag. It was fun to try and find the different books and the answers. I did enjoy making the video. It just took me a while to come up with some of the different answers. Let me know in the comments down below, have you read any of the books that I've mentioned? Did you enjoy them? Do you have other works by the authors that you would recommend? And until next time, remember, be safe, be well, and big hugs.